One person once got lost in the desert. He lost his bearings, suffered from dehydration, languished under the scorching sun. Days passed. He wandered among silence, sand, and slowly fading hope. But one evening, right before finally collapsing without strength, he fell to his knees in the dust and quietly uttered one phrase. It was not a plea and not a question, but a firm statement. Thank you for the water that I will receive right now. That same night it rained. Not because he asked, not because he searched, but because in that moment, his vibration became the vibration of fullness, not of lack. True gratitude is not something that appears after a miracle. It is what opens the way to the miracle. From childhood, we have been taught to do everything the opposite way. We were instilled with the idea that gratitude is a polite reaction to what has already been received, a reciprocal smile after something good has finally happened. But the universe is arranged differently. The quantum field does not wait for the result to respond. It waits for resonance to give the result. Gratitude, when lived before receiving what is desired, turns into a tuning fork that tunes you precisely to the frequency of manifestation. But here lies the paradox. Most people block their desires not because they do not want them, but because they refuse to feel gratitude until they see evidence. That way energy does not move. That way timelines do not bend. First you enter the state, and then what is desired is obliged to come. Gratitude is not a reward. It is a command that you give to the field. The biggest trap that almost no one notices. When you constantly, even imperceptibly to yourself, focus on what is missing, when you wait, guess, dream, you radiate the vibration of separation. You seem to tell the quantum field, I am not this yet. And the field with perfect accuracy reflects exactly this frequency. It mirrors who you are right now, not what you want. But when you feel gratitude right now, before any external changes, you destroy the illusion of time. You stop postponing what is desired into the future and begin to live yourself as a person who already has it. In that moment, the universe adjusts, not out of pity, but out of the law of correspondence. Because the field responds precisely to internal correspondence, to wholeness, not to noise, not to please, not to endless repetitions, but to internal harmony. Imagine gratitude as an exact address. When you say thank you in advance, you inform the quantum navigator exactly where you live now, in the vibration of fullness. And manifestation is simply delivery to that address. But if you continue to radiate, I will believe it when I see it, your signal says, I am not there yet, and delivery remains on pause. Let us broaden the view. Why is gratitude so important for manifestation? Because it changes the observer. The observer effect in quantum mechanics shows particles exist in an infinite field of probabilities until they are fixed by the gaze. But the nature of that gaze, the emotional and energetic state of the observer directly influences the result. Gratitude is not just a pleasant sensation. It is a quantum lens, a filter through which your reality collapses. When you look at life through gratitude, you do not just feel better, you choose better. But do not confuse this with a technique or a trick. Gratitude does not work if it is forced out. It is not a button and not another item on a spiritual to-do list. Gratitude must be genuine, lived with the whole body, so deep that it becomes your new essence. Because gratitude is not a feeling you sometimes visit. It is a frequency in which you live constantly. And this frequency is not passive. It is powerful, attractive, organizing. It attracts not by effort, but by coincidence. The moment you live from gratitude, you begin to collapse the timeline on which you already have everything desired, not because you deceived reality, but because you finally coincided with it. Let us pause for a moment. And what if the only reason why your manifestations are still delayed is not a lack of clarity, not a bad technique, and not that you are trying too little? What if it is all because you still have not allowed yourself to feel that you have already received? That the signal has not yet stabilized long enough for the needed version of reality to collapse? What if gratitude is the last switch that you forgot to flip to the on position? Breathe this in. For what are you still postponing gratitude? For love, for freedom, for abundance. And what if right now you give yourself permission to feel it fully? Not in theory, not in imagination, but emotionally, to tears, to goosebumps, with unshakable certainty that everything has already happened. Because the quantum truth is simple. The universe does not reward procrastination. It instantly responds to decisive energy. And few energies are more decisive than gratitude. Imagine a life in which you wake up and thank reality as if everything has already happened. In which you stop asking for changes and begin to radiate completion. In which in your journal you write, "Thank you for the overflowing account even before the numbers have grown." In which you whisper, "Thank you for the love that I already feel, even if there is no one in the room yet." That version of you already exists. Gratitude is the way to become it. And from this frequency, life responds not because you outsmarted the system, but because you became whole with the reality for which you were born. This is only the beginning. Next, we will examine what gratitude does to your brain, body, and electromagnetic field, and why the scientific data about this process is even more powerful than the feeling itself. When you see the mechanism, you will never again relate to gratitude the same way. If you could see your energy the way the universe sees it, you would never again doubt the power of gratitude. Not because it is a virtue, but because it is a vibrational command, a frequency that tells the quantum field, "Fix this version of me, collapse this timeline, align everything to this state." Gratitude is not a reward for what has been received. It is a signal that what is desired is already here. And this signal has a form. Your thoughts are electrical, emotions are magnetic. Together they create a toroidal field around the body, a dynamic moving bubble of energy that can be measured and that is visible in heart rate variability studies. Studies have shown, when a person enters a sincere state of appreciation, the heart switches to coherence mode. This is not poetry, this is biological precision. The heart rhythm becomes even, the brain synchronizes, the entire nervous system shifts from stress to restoration and regulation mode. Why is this important? Because your field becomes whole. And a whole field is not just pleasant, it broadcasts order into the quantum soup of possibilities. It tells reality, "I am ready to receive." Therefore, gratitude is not emotional foam. It is a neurochemical reset. In the ordinary state of stress in which most people live, the body is in survival mode. Cortisol skyrockets. Thoughts jump. The body contracts. The field becomes noisy. And in this noise, your signal loses strength. It does not matter how much you visualize and repeat affirmations. If you do it from fear, haste, or a sense of lack, you send chaotic frequencies. The field cannot stabilize around chaos. It waits for wholeness. And when you enter true heartfelt gratitude, brainwaves shift from beta mode to alpha and even theta, heart rhythm aligns, the body produces oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. You literally become a chemical mirror of peace. And this peace is not passive. It is magnetic. It instructs. This is exactly the signal the universe was waiting for to activate the desired result. Imagine your energy as a song. Every thought is a note. Every emotion is a tone. In anxiety, you play dissonance, sharp, unfinished chords. And gratitude is harmony, melody, a choir of the soul that sings, "I am in agreement." The quantum field responds not to volume, but to coherence. You do not need to shout your desires into the void. You just need to sound pure. Gratitude gives this purity. Now let us move to practice. You have surely been advised to keep a gratitude journal, but few explain why it really works. When you consciously write down what you are grateful for, you are not just making a list, you are rewiring your perceptual filters. Specifically, you activate the reticular activating system of the brain, the part that decides what to pay attention to. When you focus on what you already have, this system begins to filter out exactly such events. You begin to notice, attract, and live more and more coincidences. The journal is not magic. The magic is in the changed perception. But here is what is usually kept silent about. Gratitude is not always simple, especially when external reality contradicts the desire. The account is empty, relationships are destroyed, the future is foggy. It is in such moments that most abandon the vibration. How can I be grateful if I am still waiting? They ask. And this is the test. This is the moment of initiation for true creators. Can you hold the frequency when the facts scream the opposite? Because the field collapses not according to facts but according to frequency. When you feel gratitude before evidence appears, you become a quantum exception. You tell the universe, I trust so deeply that I do not need evidence, I myself am the evidence. And the universe, always obedient to wholeness, begins to rearrange matter according to your state. Gratitude turns into gravity. Neuroplasticity studies show repeated emotional states lay down new neural pathways. When you regularly practice gratitude, you do not just lift your mood. You rewrite your personality. You begin to associate yourself with abundance, peace, love. You stop identifying with lack. And when the personality changes, choices change. And when choices change, timelines change. Therefore, gratitude is not a way to feel better. It is a strategy to become a different person, the one who already lives your dream. How, in your opinion, does this version of you feel? In despair or in blessing? Spends days obsessing over what is missing, or bathes in what already is? Your answer determines which line you are tuning into, because the field reflects only what you stably radiate. And now, a riddle that almost no one talks about. Gratitude does not just change your emotional state, it changes your probabilistic field. In the quantum world, all outcomes already exist. Gratitude collapses the probability wave toward the outcome with which you emotionally coincide. This is not theory. This is the observed behavior of particles in the laboratory. The expectation and emotional state of the observer change the behavior of particles simply by the fact of observation. Your gratitude is a form of quantum observation that encodes the sensation everything has already happened. And when this sensation becomes stable, manifestation is inevitable. What to do right now? You do not need new rituals. You need to start feeling better sooner. You need to choose gratitude, not as a reaction, but as reality. Start the day with thank you for what has not come yet. Live the vibration of receiving, even if externally nothing has changed. Walk, speak, hold your posture as if everything is already yours, not pretending, but being. When your biology coincides with the conviction, the field will respond not with delay, but with direction. There is a moment when something imperceptibly switches. It is almost invisible, but after that, inertia turns on. You move from desire to embodiment, from hope to memory, from attempts to manifest to simple acceptance. This switch is called the gratitude loop, a self-sustaining cycle where appreciation gives birth to alignment. Alignment gives birth to results. Results strengthen appreciation. An upward spiral emerges. Once in it, you begin to rise to higher lines without effort. To enter this loop, you need to do what the ego resists most. Feel gratitude for what has not yet manifested. When you do this, you send the field a signal. This is my current personality. You stabilize a new energetic signature, not of a seeker, but of one who already possesses. As soon as you begin to stably radiate this signal, the field collapses around it. And then the most interesting part begins. When the first signs appear in life, small synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, subtle shifts, your gratitude intensifies not because confirmation came, but because it confirms what your energy already knew. A feedback loop emerges. Gratitude, wholeness, manifestation, even greater gratitude, even greater wholeness, acceleration. Each time you strengthen gratitude, you strengthen the emotional imprint I have already received. Each time the imprint becomes stronger, your field becomes more whole. And a whole field does not just influence reality, it restructures it. The reticular activating system of the brain works as a filter, deciding which stimuli to let into consciousness. When you fuel it with gratitude, it begins to look for confirmations. The more grateful you are, the more coincidences you notice, the stronger faith becomes. Faith feeds emotion, emotion feeds the field feeds the timeline. The process becomes exponential. This is why people living in true gratitude seem lucky. It is not luck. It is alignment repeated so often that it became automatic. They entered the gratitude loop, and this loop forever raised their baseline vibration. But most interrupt the loop right here. They start waiting for external evidence to be grateful. This pushes the frequency away, and the field pushes the response away. People do not understand. Gratitude is the gravity of manifestation. It attracts what is desired, not because you are worthy, but because you now resonate with it. Imagine your field as a galaxy. In a state of lack, energy is scattered, like space debris, chaotic and without a center. And when you immerse yourself in true gratitude, a gravitational center appears, a black hole of wholeness. Everything that matches your vibration begins to be attracted and spiral around you, magnetically and orderly. Gratitude becomes the organizing principle of your field. The stronger the center, the faster everything arrives. The key to the loop's stability. Make gratitude not a practice but part of personality. I am the person who always finds something to be grateful for, not as a task, but as a lens of perception. This is not denial of pain. This is recognition of alignment. Even in contrast, there is something that works for you. Even in delay, there is preparation. When you begin to thank not only the light, but also the lessons, you reach a new quantum maturity. And at this level, everything accelerates. You stop manifesting individual events. You collapse into a completely new version of yourself. This version is magnetic. It does not attract. It radiates such a pure signal that timelines restructure themselves around it. But the loop can also collapse. It is enough to start doubting, measuring progress, comparing, and energy again goes into separation. Gratitude becomes conditional. And conditional gratitude is disguised expectation. I will be grateful when. This tells the field that it is still not here. To stay in the loop, conditions must be removed completely. To be grateful without the need for evidence. This is the sweet spot. When you stop needing confirmation, you yourself become the confirmation. You radiate stability, and the field cannot ignore stability. It is obliged to match it. Imagine that every day of yours begins with the words, "Thank you for everything that will come today," visible and invisible. That you go through your schedule not in search of problems, but in search of already blooming coincidences. Instead of the question, "What needs to be fixed?" you ask for, "What can I be grateful right now?" This shift changes your field, and the field changes your future. At first, gratitude is a choice. Over time, a conditioned state. And when it takes root deep enough, it becomes your baseline, personality, identity. It is identity that the universe responds to. You manifest not with words. You manifest with the nervous system. Lived frequency, field of gratitude. When this field is activated and stabilized, it becomes your new gravitational center. If you have ever felt stagnation, as if no matter how much you visualize or meditate, nothing really moves, the point is not that you are doing something wrong. The point is that you are still vibrating in lack, often without even noticing it. Lack does not always scream. Sometimes it whispers, hides behind spiritual formulations. I am manifesting, working on acceptance, aligning vibration. And underneath, a quiet, constant expectation, it is not here yet. This message is stronger than any words. The quantum field does not understand the Russian language, it understands emotion. Your stable emotional base is the program you upload into reality. If the base is lack, then no matter how beautiful affirmations you pronounce, the universe reflects. This is a person who is still becoming, not already being. This is the truth that most avoid. It is easier to keep trying than to sit in silence and honestly ask, do I even know what it is like to already have what is desired? But it is here that gratitude becomes the great destroyer of the old. It completes the search. It tells the field, everything is complete. It is already mine, and in the moment of true bodily certainty, there is simply no place for lack to live. It burns in the vibration of appreciation. Gratitude does not fix lack, it transcends it. Lack is the frequency of distance. It creates an emotional gap between you and what is desired. Gratitude collapses this gap. It does not reach or chase, it anchors, attracts the desired reality into the now, becoming its emotional signature even before the facts appear. This transition most never make, because it requires letting go of the familiar comfort of thirst, the personality of the seeker, the story someday, when finally, and stepping into the vulnerability of one who already possesses. Can you feel abundance while the numbers say the opposite? Can you feel love while the partner is not there yet? Can you celebrate the arrival before it has arrived? This is mastery. This is magnetism. This is manifestation. And the most radical, gratitude does not just improve well-being. It makes you unavailable for lack. These two states cannot exist simultaneously. When you are truly in gratitude, lack dissolves not by suppression or ignoring, but by rewriting. Gratitude becomes your new emotional operating system. Stop. What emotion dominated you this week? Trust or expectation? Sufficiency or quiet hope that something will change? If honestly, beneath the surface, lack may be quietly humming, and that is okay. Awareness is the turning point. Now you can choose higher, not by effort, but by living. Live the version of yourself who already has everything. Live its relief, lightness, peace, knowing. And thank exactly this version, not as a better one, but as one that already exists inside you, which does not need to be achieved, but only felt. Let the next sentence become your turning point. I allow gratitude to be my signal to the field. Say it to yourself now, not as a performance, but as a declaration. Let it become your vibrational anchor, a message to your future self from the present. As soon as you declare this personality, the field begins to respond. Gratitude becomes your atmosphere. Lack loses its grip. Tension leaves, and what seemed distant becomes native, deeper. Lack is not the result of what is missing. It is the result of what you focus on. Shift the focus at least to the smallest. Breath, sun, heartbeat, and gratitude will have a place. And when it enters, it will bring friends, impulse, clarity, synchronicities, direction. You will stop acting from need and start from abundance. Stop chasing signs. Life itself will become a sign. Stop looking for clues. You yourself will become the proof, all because you stopped waiting and started thanking. But this is not all. Gratitude does something even more mystical and at the same time strictly scientific. It does not just cancel lack, it selects timelines. This is not just an emotion. This is a quantum selector. And when you see how gratitude determines your place in the multiverse, you will stop perceiving it as just a pleasant feeling. And what if every possible version of your life already exists? Literally. One, where you are still struggling. Another, where you are free. One, where you are deeply loved. Another, where you are invisible. One, where dreams are real here and now, not somewhere far away. Quantum physics calls this the many worlds interpretation. All possible outcomes already exist, branching infinitely, and you as an observer constantly choose which version becomes your reality by your state of being. This means that you do not create the life of your dreams from scratch. You collapse into the version of reality where it already exists. There is only one question: what determines exactly which version you end up in? The answer is simultaneously simple and revolutionary: emotional alignment. And few states align as powerfully as gratitude. Gratitude in quantum terms is a selector, a frequency signature that finds and activates the line where you already have what is desired. You do not ask, you do not attract. You occupy the vibrational address of that version of yourself who has already received. Make this tangible. All possible versions of your life are encoded in the field, like songs on a cosmic radio. You do not compose the song, you tune into it, and gratitude is the tuning knob. When you feel gratitude for what has not yet come, as if it is already here, you change your position in the quantum field, not only emotionally, but dimensionally. The field is neutral and instantaneous. It does not ask for reasons. It responds to resonance. If you radiate, "I already have it," the field says, "Let us collapse the line where this is true." This is not magic. This is quantum correspondence. And correspondence is the key. Gratitude creates correspondence not only emotional, but in the electromagnetic field. The heart enters rhythmic alignment, the brain calms into the alpha range, you exit survival into a pure signal. A pure signal is how you fixate on one line among the infinite. Most manifestation methods keep silent. What collapses the wave is not the desire itself, but the assumption. And true assumption is not mental, it is emotional, vibrational. You become so grateful and stable in emotional certainty that the system fixates in a new personality, not on the way, but already there. This is what was meant when they said, "Feel the desire fulfilled, live from it, thank for it," especially when there is no evidence at all. The absence of evidence is the greatest invitation to test your personality. Am I still tuned to the line of desire or slipped back into the line of lack again? This question, asked from deep awareness, is a portal to the version of you who chooses lines by presence, not imagination, by resonance, not resistance. Stop. Think about something big that you are manifesting right now. A quantum leap in finances, relationships, meaning of life. Can you for at least a moment feel what it is like to already live in that version of reality? Not visualize it from afar, but step inside. Thank life as if the leap has already happened. Breathe as if the shift has already occurred. Walk as if it is already you, the one who has everything. This moment of emotional certainty, if you can hold it, becomes the force of collapse. The field does not resist such correspondence. It does not postpone. It organizes around it. The architecture of choice does not obey the calendar. It is vibrational. Quantum leaps happen not when you work harder, but when you vibrate cleaner. Gratitude is the purifier, the tuner. Therefore, you do not attract a better future. You choose it, not with logic, but with frequency. This is why people often experience sudden shifts after deep emotional release, when they break through resistance and fall into true gratitude for the now. This frequency instantly transfers them to another version of reality, where everything flows faster, opens wider. Not because they tried more, but because they coincided with a new path. Gratitude was the access point. And the final turn, the timeline you long for also longs for you. It is not passive. It is magnetic. But it can merge only with the version of you who already lives it emotionally. How to become this version? Stop chasing evidence. Stop demanding guarantees. Sit in silence and say, "Thank you for the reality that is already mine. Thank you for the version of me who already lives it. I feel it. I honor it. I am it." And when you do this, when you really feel, something begins to crack and open. Reality bends. The shift is launched. There comes a moment when gratitude ceases to be a practice. It becomes who you are. It is no longer a morning habit that you forget by lunch. It is not a reaction to luck, and not a temporary lift. It is the baseline frequency to which you always return, especially when everything goes wrong. Because in this state you no longer wait for the universe to prove something. You embody the knowledge that everything is already proven. Honestly, many will never reach this level, not because they cannot, but because they continue to bargain with the field. I will be grateful when it appears. They continue to believe that reality must change first so that it finally becomes safe to feel. But the quantum field does not move by negotiations. It moves by personality. When gratitude becomes your personality, you stop living by the principle of cause and effect. You become the cause. You create from wholeness, not from chaos. You stop chasing. You start radiating. Close your eyes. Sink into the breath. Feel the space behind the sternum. Not thoughts in the head, but vibration in the heart. Imagine a soft, golden current moving into the chest. Even, quiet, calm pulse. This is gratitude. And right now, without naming anything specific, allow yourself to feel gratitude simply for being alive, for being able to choose, for the fact that at this very moment you are connected to the field of infinite possibilities and you feel how it flows through you. No evidence is needed. You yourself are the evidence. Let this feeling stretch through the nervous system, down the spine, into the breath. Let it rewrite posture, thoughts, tone of voice. Because when you walk through life as embodied gratitude, you no longer need to do anything. Reality itself comes to meet you. Yes, this requires returning again and again, especially when life pulls into fear. But over time, something beautiful happens. The nervous system adapts, emotions recalibrate. Gratitude ceases to be something you try to feel. It becomes something you cannot not feel. It becomes home. That version of you who lives in complete wholeness, creates without effort, attracts naturally, lives in peace. It is not somewhere far away. It is not waiting for the right moment. It is already encoded in the field, and you connect with it through feeling, through presence, through personality, through gratitude, because gratitude is the signature of your higher essence. Hold this signature long enough, and the external world cannot fail to reflect it. Not because you demanded, but because you became it. If all this resonated in you with something deep, ancient, ready, it means that not just understanding is awakening, but memory. And memory is the foundation of true power. And from this moment, everything really changes.